So it's Barry. The best show that no one talks about is a daunting title, but it has truth behind it. You might ask, if the show's so great, why don't I hear about it more? And honestly, I don't know. Sort of. This season is Barry's most popular, and some proof of that is a series high viewership count of 740,000 for the important episode 4 of the final season. Now, the other HBO show running right alongside it is Succession, where its episode 4 had a viewership count of 2.6 million. Succession since the start has had more of a following, and in turn has gotten more promotion. Examples of this recently are ads for Succession on TikTok, but not for Barry. A singular topic of Succession gets 44 million views, while Barry's gets 19 million. It goes back in time though too. Think back years ago when both of these shows were just starting. If you go and look, Succession Season 1 trailer has 5.9 million views on it, while Barry's Season 1 trailer only has 1.4. So we figured out part of the problem. What's the other half? Bill Hader. Bill Hader is great in Barry, do not get me wrong, but before this, Bill Hader has been known as a comedian, not really playing serious roles like this. On top of that, each episode is only 30 minutes long, with exceptions in this last season, which may scare people away as most dramas are hour-long TV, being in the 40 to 50 minute range. The subject matter and how it's handled is also very specific. Not everyone likes this type of humor and/or dark subject matter. This show has almost no sex, which is a driving factor in most other TV, especially shows coming off of HBO, think Euphoria or Game of Thrones. Simply put, it's just different. It has a smaller audience, and I think HBO is okay with that. Okay, now let's get into why Barry is so good. This season of Barry is different. Really, you could say that about every new season of Barry. Slightly, there's a tonal difference, always getting darker and darker until the biggest switch yet, Season 4. Don't get me wrong, this show has been bleak and dark for a while, but this season has been devastating, and it makes sense. The longer you stay in the game, or even when you try and leave it as Barry does, it only gets worse, which is why we see the deterioration of everything throughout the show. Season 4 episode 4 is the greatest example of all. Barry isn't seen in this episode until the very end, but everything that happens throughout is because of him. Gene Cousineau killing his son, Cristobal's death, everything was because of Barry. Tonal difference doesn't mean the show has changed though, it's just much more dry about its comedy. A good showing of this is the title card. Barry used to use this to break tension or for a laugh, but not anymore. Even the title has the fun sucked out of it, another good example of a darker tone. As I said before, a tonal difference doesn't mean the show has changed. The show has always been this dark, we just never really realized it. The best showcase of how fucked up everything is the latest episode. 8 years is a long time. So much happened that we didn't get to see, and the show knows that. Barry always takes a show-don't-tell perspective when it comes to the story. Literally.
I will do anything for your forgiveness, Mr. Cousineau.
Oh, you will, fuckface.
So, with this time jump, reality sets in. There's no more good in their world. The cinematography nearing the end is acting like a horror movie. The lack of music throughout the episode. The lack of awareness. They're living in the middle of nowhere. Anytime we see the house, it's meant to look completely out of place. And at the end of the episode, Barry decides that he needs to kill Cousineau. He has literally learned nothing. Barry is just one of those shows you wish had more people following it. Maybe in years to come it could become a classic and gain a larger following. I think at the end of the day it comes down to that most shows have a larger general audience, an age range per se. While with Barry, you just kind of have to trust the process. An example is Euphoria, clearly targeted towards teens and young adults. Barry doesn't have that. It makes it less accessible. Overall, if you haven't seen Barry, I highly recommend it. And if you are caught up, let me know what you think's gonna happen. Cause I have no clue. But let me know what you think. Do you agree with me? Disagree? Who knows?